excited for this, neither Zane nor Becca. But we're here to play some Jackals tonight. I will continue to open all of these streams with how much I love Babylon 5, just because I know how JD feels. So there you are. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful Tuesday evening. We're about to have a wonderful Tuesday evening. We're going to be playing some Jackals, a new Bronze Age fantasy role-playing game that I wrote, which is awesome, and it is out, which is also awesome, and we get to play it, which is triply awesome. I assume my bevy of Jackals need no introduction, because if you watch this stream or you watch the Lizzie's International stream, they're all over it. We have Becca playing Athenia, a Melkoni priestess of Ryla. She runs our Call of Cthulhu game on Monday nights. If you enjoy cosmic horror, the European countryside, or old trains, or, Jenny playing a happy character, you should go check out the Call of Cthulhu game. Alice plays in our Fading Suns game. She plays Val, the newest member of the crew. Tonight she's playing Tawara of the Resh tribe of the Resh clan of the Luwathi people. She's playing a lore master. Jenny plays in both our Call of Cthulhu game, and you may know her from It Gets Worse, where she plays Talia. I can't actually say anything more than that. So, tonight she's playing Mariette, who a Ger Hekis, sort of an alchemist. And then Maddie, who plays in our Torg and our Fading Suns game, and the B-Team game. So Maddie's just in all of the games. She's playing Famia, also of the Luwathi. She's playing a Kahar, a priestess of Alwayn. So, when we last left our group 2 weeks ago, so again, these are going to be every 2 weeks, kind of alternating back and forth with Torg until we go back to full time at Torg. Which, just to give a quick shout out, if you have not gone to back it yet, on Game on Tabletop, it's the final countdown for the Orosh crowdfunding. It's got 20 hours left, and it's exploded since the last time at least I looked. They're close to having the perk cards and and after that the High Lord 3D printing files, which is very exciting. So again, go check out Game on Tabletop for more Torg goodness, and tune in here, well, not here, but at this time slot on the Ulysses channel next Tuesday for more Oroshian terror, and I'm looking forward to that. But that is not tonight. Tonight is all about Jackals. So our pack of Jackals had journeyed to the Melkoni colony town of Kroryla. Upon arriving there, they witnessed the high priest and one of the acolytes of Lycos, this demigod who founded this town, dying in what can only be described as an eruption of snakes. Heading to the Lycosian temple, the group discussed what was going on with the next in command. Congratulations, you've been promoted. Callistra, who was very concerned by everything that was going on and believed that these are the actions of sort of a nefarious group linked to the giant Ceenon. The daughters of Ceenon were sort of Lycos' main rivals in the myths that founded the town. And you guys found what Maddie referred to as a snake duckin in one of the beds of the slain high priest. You found another one in Callistra's bed, and Heracles, who is a guard in the town and possibly romantically involved with Callistra. You guys went out and they discovered 7 more of these things. You guys remember she had said that it felt very much like their temple had been under attack. The city is trying to find a spot for a new town, and they would send Lycosians out and they wouldn't come back. So you guys discovered some lore that linked Ceenon to this hero of yore known as Ajax. Both were cursed by Eraton. Ceenon because he was a devious giant bastard. Not like, I mean, he was both in both ways that you could employ giant bastard. And then he tricked Ajax into consuming the flesh of his own family, also falling under the curse of heaven. Both were exiled from Melkone. One of Ajax's descendants, Lycos, is the one who founded the town. So all of this has come to a head. Actually, 3 heads, each of snakes stuffed inside of other smaller heads. And that is where we're going to pick up right now with you guys in the temple, having just discovered that there were 7 more of these things that would have, you don't know when or how they would have come to the fullness of their power, but that would have ended the Lycosian high priesthood. Basically anyone of levels 5 or above. So those mysteries would have been lost forever. So that's where we'll pick up. What are you guys going to do?
I believe our next step was to check out the statues.
Mm-hmm.
And see if anybody has attempted to mess with them or perhaps enact some sort of ritual.
All right. Well, you are you all going to the statues, or?
But before we leave the room where we found all the extra snake heads,
They were spread out among all the different rooms.
Right. Okay. But particularly in the high priestess's room.
Okay.
Or the inherited high priestess's room. Can I recognize like the skill that goes into doing this sort of stuff? Is it something that might be in my wheelhouse that I would be familiar with?
Give me a
as
lore.
A Heckus?
Give me a lore roll there, Mariette.
All right.
While she's rolling this, the rest of you know that Ger Heckus are known to truck with dark powers and make evil talismans, much like these ones.
I'll make a symbol of Rylera.
That was a success.
That was a success?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't personally know how to make something like this.
Right.
But this is the sort of thing that Heckus are known for, right? You take symbolic... you activate the symbolic resonance in different things. So, like, you have the Dust of Geb, which is the desert to the west of Ger. So when you use it as a weapon, it takes the heat and the desiccating nature of the desert and enacts it on the victim. Nightmare tokens, where you basically summon a spirit from the Silent Lands to torment somebody. This is in at least, if not in practice, in theory and like ideologically very similar to your practices.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, as you go to move, Heracles is like, I will keep this place safe with my own life. But hurry. If they've already had snakes, talismans brought in here under the watchful guise of the priests and priestesses of Lycos, not sure what one man with spear and shield will accomplish.
With that comment, Athenia like pauses and then reverses and looks over and goes, have you been aware of any new soon to be priests of Lycos who perhaps are not as happy to be here, Callisto?
What do you mean?
Has anybody recently come to the temple and not shown as much devotion and appreciation of Lycos as you might expect for a soon-to-be priest of one.
No, not that I can think of.
Have there been many new people joining recently?
In the temple? No. I mean, we take most of our initiates quite young. 7 to 9 summers.
Okay. There's been no older person recently?
No, we are a local cult.
Right.
Do you accept food offerings? Where does your food supply come from in the temple?
It comes from the same place any of the buildings in the on the Temple Mount come from. I mean, we eat the sacrifices that are brought to the temple. So anytime someone makes a grain or a dove or a bull offering or seeks the wisdom of the gods through divination, the meals that are partook of or partaken of through the priest are the priesthood eats the same meals that the god does.
What about servants?
So we don't have very many here. Most of the people who are here are members of the priesthood. We're a small temple. We have several people who volunteer their time to clean the more public areas, but in private we all maintain. This is holy ground. We don't allow those who are not members of the priesthood here.
Okay. As we walk out, I would like to take Marriott aside, where at least the Lycosians don't hear her. I'm fine if Famia and Tawara hear. But I'm going to ask Marriott, if you were to place a nightmare token under someone's pillow, how would you go about doing this? Would you hire someone, or would you do it yourself?
You know, that's a good idea, actually, to hire it done. That seems wise.
Oh, good. I can't see that backfiring on you at all.
Yes, that's the little voice that just went off in Athenia's head. She's like, all right, I have to kill this woman.
But generally speaking, Athenia, I believe that you are most likely rather sweet and innocent, and probably do not know the sort of ill will that can be directed toward someone of my station.
Sure.
And generally, it's difficult to find people willing to do your bidding.
Even if you paid them a lot of money?
Well, probably if you paid them a lot of money, that would be fine. Or if they were sufficiently terrified of you, that would also probably work.
Okay.
But personally, I've always done it myself on the rare occasions that I've had need to use that type of magic. But
yeah, you know, she just basically admitted to killing someone using the nightmare token.
Pretty much. If I can hear this conversation, so can you possess people with these tokens?
no, it's more of a talisman that you leave about their sleeping place or their person, and you don't necessarily possess them. They just have bad dreams. I mean, it really does what it says on the tin. They have bad dreams and they don't rest and they don't heal as a result. And honestly, like, this isn't the sort of thing that I do. It's the sort of thing that some people might, with skills similar to mine, might do. But it pays to be judicious with this type of.
You've asked a lot of questions about how it could have gotten in. I wasn't sure, if maybe someone against their will brought it in.
I'm sure such things are possible.
And I don't know things about these dark things, so just asking. Jam, speaking of which, is there any kind of, I realize this is not a temple to Olwain. Is there any kind of ward we could put on this building or some semblance of additional protection to keep the snakins out?
So you could, as a downtime action, there are actually rules now for like warding a place, but that is really something that will take weeks as opposed to hours.
Okay. Figured I'd ask.
KKK. Alrighty.
Yes, Maddie.
To the temple.
Okay, I saw you raise your hand. I thought you raised your hand.
Yeah, that was right. Let's go. All
right, Tuara, are you going with them as they all head down to these statues?
Yeah, I'll go with.
Okay. All right. So you guys head back down through the city, through the agora, kind of almost to the northern gate, and you can see where Kroryla, unlike, say, Amina Nawani or Centum or most of the Luwathi towns, was laid out in a very specific pattern. Almost, Mariette, like the grand cities of Gare. Almost.
Oh.
Give them another couple hundred years, and I'm sure they'll have this whole city planning thing down. But what you do see is that there are several additions to Kroryla where you come to a set of walls and you pass through a gate, and there's another larger area that's enclosed. As the city has grown, they've added more walls. And so as you pass through one of these, almost now what would be a district barrier, you come to the northern part of the city and almost immediately are greeted by this very beautiful, colonnaded, open air area. There are still several large trees that are growing in it, and you can see there are 4 stone pillars in the center of this area. One of them is remarkably well sculpted. Athenia, you recognize Lycos basically immediately. And the fact that the statue is holding an orichalcum shield and spearhead on a stone spear. The only 2 things that aren't stone on his statue are the spearhead and the shield, which are both made out of this very sacred and ritually infused metal for the Melkoni. He seems to be facing off against, well, I mean, like 3 large lumps. It's really hard to tell if these are just natural stones or something else, but they tower almost. Hold on, I'm doing the math in my head. They tower above you. That's what I'm gonna go with. I apologize. My coffee is wearing out.
I was going to ask, is it 3 cubits or 4?
It actually towers almost 20 cubits above you.
Hmm.
Oh, yes. Cubits that everybody is familiar with.
About 1.5 feet.
Here to here.
Yep.
Can I examine the lumps of stone
Yeah.
for any signs of them being carved in any way?
Sure.
Trying to determine if they're worked or natural.
Give me a crafting roll.
I
Oh,
would
this-
like to take a look at Lycos's statue and see if there has been any alterations to him.
Give me a perception check.
Can I look at the ground?
Yes, it's a game of the imagination, Maddie. You can do what?
I mean, if anything there is disturbed, like they're looking at the statues themselves, I want to see if the dirt has been played with.
All right, give me a perception roll. Mariette, what are you looking at?
I am looking for snakes.
Okay. Also give me a perception roll. But as you guys kind of approach, this is all that you see. You can smell the fresh blossoms on the trees. You can hear the sounds of children and commerce. This northern district it's really kind of the first expansion of the city. So you can see a lot of Malconi style mixed in with a couple of Luwathi style homes that were, kind of built on the outskirts of the city, and then the city sort of enclosed them again. So really, those are kind of the sights and the sounds and the smells, kind of everything you're taking in as you're looking at these statues. Did anyone fail? Let me ask that. No? Did anybody critically succeed? All right, so everyone succeeded. Famia got a critical success. All right, so Tora, as you're looking at this is really weird because, like, if the sun catches it right, or if you kind of are looking at one, you might see it out of the corner of your eyes. These are definitely not worked over in any way, shape, or but they're also not natural, if that makes sense. As you kind of look at them, they're definitely weathered from being out, exposed to the elements. But you could see how someone might mistake these, especially in the dark, or maybe after one too many bowls of wine. They do look rather large and feminine for giant rocks. Athenia, you were looking at the Lycos statue.
Yes.
All right, as you kind of go around it and look, you can see. So you've been here before. You've seen the statue many times passing through Kroryla. But you do see two things that sort of stand out to you. One, someone has carved and it's almost hard to see, right? Because the statue, it's not on a riser, it's not on a dais, it's just sort of standing in the grass. Someone has carved a serpent that is now, like, attached to the heel of Lycos' statue. The other thing you see is someone has painted something on the inside of the shield.
Okay. Can I make it out?
Oh yeah, it's very clear.
I prepared exploding runes this morning.
That's what it says, but too late for you. The statue explodes and takes Athenia and most of the Northern District with her. It's still my favorite bit in all of D&D. Just GM tip. Just have the kobold that the PC's chasing, like, scratching something into the wall and then run off, because one PC will read the explosive runes. Just one. That's all that you need. So, yes, it is two curved lines, one concave, one convex over it, with kind of between them 2 more sets of lines, each with a dot. It looks like a triple pupiled eye.
Hmm.
Okay. And do I know what that is?
You can give me a culture own roll and we'll come back to you. No, screw it. Yeah, that's the sign of the daughters of Ceenon.
Okay.
Like, that appears in all of the Lycosian tapestries and images and frescoes. That symbol is sort of worked in as a representation of all that Lycos had to overcome to found the town.
Okay.
Mariette, you're looking for snakes.
Yes. Or traces of snakes.
Well, I
Like
mean,
where
luck-
they've been.
luckily,
Stone one right here.
yeah, luckily for you, this area of the Zaharets is fairly flat and rolling, so you find snakes on the plains. One of them is a stone one that is attached to the heel of the Lycosian the Lycos statue, but the rest of them, you don't see anything else, at least in this area, until you get within the shadows of the statues. And as Tawara is kind of looking at the stone, you're keeping your eyes out on the ground, and you can see that in the darkest places, the places between the 2 clefts between the 3 stones, if that makes sense, the grass is moving.
Ugh.
They never seem to leave the shadows, but you kind of pull Tawara back a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and you can see that each of those shadows has what looks to be about a dozen large black serpents in the darkness between the 2. You're welcome, Phantom. That was for you. All right, so Famia, you got a critical success on your looking at the ground. All right, so there's a lot of traffic through here. The ground is soft. It is well cared for. I mean, this is a sacred site to the Melkoni, right? According to everything you heard at the temple, this is the spot where Lycos finished his confrontation with the daughters of Ceenon, and went through his apotheosis, where he ascended into Eraton's presence by turning himself and the statues to stone, or the giantesses to stone. So you can see why there's a lot of traffic here. However, you do pick up 2 things, sort of out of the ordinary. One is that you can you spot a small shard of pottery not too far from the base of the Lycos statue, and there's blood, like dried blood on it, and that hue is the same hue as the writing on the inside of the shield. The other thing that you find is there seems to be there's something weird about the grass, like where it's pressed down around the statue, almost as if somebody was on their hands and knees looking for something. And you spot it near the middle statue. There's something in the grass that catches your attention.
Can I tentatively walk over with my staff in hand, and I'll motion Athenia to come with me?
But before we go over there, though, I want to see if I can remove the snake from Lycos's heel.
I'll Also, Samia, you should know there are snakes over there.
Snakes on everything.
There are snakes on snakes on snakes.
No, these are live ones.
Oh. Okay. I don't like that.
No.
I mean, if they're in the shadow, I can attempt to light them up. I don't know if that would help.
So, so right now we have Mariette and Famia and Tuara over by the statues, and Athenia grabbing the, trying to remove the...
I'm gonna start by seeing if it moves by like kind of pushing on it with my foot.
It does not.
And if it, at which point I will kneel and grab it like behind the head. So if it does suddenly come alive, I've got a grip on it and see if I can pull it off.
All right, so what I do need from you, because you go to pull on it, and that head is firmly latched on the heel of Lycos. But when you pull it free, it immediately starts writhing in your hand, and actually slips a little bit just from the suddenness. So I'm gonna need a dodge roll from you.
Okay. Born under Kalma is willpower, right? I guess I could open up my book and look.
I have Kalma written down as dodge, Becca.
Oh, excellent. Good, because that's what I need, I'm sure. Dodging people. Oh, I got a 1 and a 9. I would... Is there any way I can make that a critical success?
You could use your cultural virtue.
Right.
If you can justify it, because I will let you know the snake got a 44 to bite you.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to use my cultural virtue of fires of life. And seeing as I have a passion of staying alive,
I'm just going to let you know. Remember, in a case of critical versus critical, both would technically, like, you will still get bit. So if you want to save it for later.
Well, if I don't, I am going to get bit.
Yes. You're going to get bit no matter what, is what I'm trying to say. Do you want to save your cultural virtue for perhaps...
So I can't do anything to the snake?
You could break the snake. If you make it a critical, you will break the stone serpent, but it will still bite you.
I can try and help you once you're bit, but I don't think I can help you in the moment.
Yeah, I've got some things hopefully too. Yes, staying alive is definitely in my brain. You know what? No, I think I would like to break this stone snake. I don't want to have to fight it.
All right, so, Becca, this thing bites Athenia on the wrist, and you smash it against the shield, but you can already see that, like, your veins are starting to turn black.
Remember that resistance to poison you have.
Attempt
that is true.
So, Becca, you will suffer 1 wound.
That's an endurance.
And 4 metal loss.
Dang.
Yikes.
Can I attempt Balm of Kahar on her?
That will heal the wound?
If it works, I think. A D8 of wounds.
Wounds.
Go ahead and give me the roll. All right, so Athenia, do you cry out? Like, what do? You guys all hear the sound of the...
Yes. I yell out, Rylera, take you, and smash it in to the shield. And then kind of hold my wrists and go, let out another Melkoni curse that I am sure anyone nearby would cover their
Yeah,
children's
there's
ears with.
one child, like one Melkoni boy, just points and laughs. And there are definitely like a half dozen like younger ones who go and go running off to tell their parents what this person said in public. They ratted you
I
out.
succeed
of
with a
the meeting.
16.
You succeed? Alright, so you will heal the one wound that Athenia has. Now, Athenia, you don't get the metal back from that. And this
Correct.
specifically, you can only heal by resting
Okay.
slowly.
Can I look at the snakes that Mariette pointed out and see if they react at all to this stone snake being smashed?
They don't react to the stone snake being smashed, but the three of you, as you are kind of, or the two of you who are standing there, because Famia went back to heal Athenia, they're definitely reacting to you noticing them, and you definitely get the feeling that if any of you were to cross into the shadows, that all of the snakes would attack. They're just a writhing mass of scales and
But the thing that Famia saw is in the grass in the middle of this mass of snakes?
It's not in the grass, it's almost on the threshold. Like, you could probably grab it with no issues.
Well, I was going to maybe poke it with my staff or see if Athenia wanted to poke it with her sword. So, we're not actually directly touching it.
I can use my bow and.
Ooh.
I mean, I could nab it with my spear, maybe. We've got options to grab it.
Just don't touch it with your bare hand.
Can I kind of try to nudge it towards me with the end of my spear?
Yeah, you definitely can. It has no resistance as you go to pull it. It looks as if it is a small braided cord. There are 3 colors on the cord, black, red, and green, and they're intertwined. But it looks as if the 2 ends were cut. They're starting to fray a little bit, but not as much as you would expect because both ends are covered with sort of a sticky fluid.
Does it look like a bracelet or some kind of braided jewelry, or
it
like?
Looks a lot like some sort of like braided jewelry, or maybe you, like as a member of the Hashirs, you wear a scarlet cord down on your off your shoulder as kind of a symbol to everyone that, hey, I have the knowledge of the Hashir. So it is a common, the Luathi have, the tassels at the end of their robes. The Ger wear braided cords to symbolize different things.
Are they like Hosian colors?
Are they Lycosian colors? They are not. If it wasn't for black, red and green, like red, green, and white are usually the 3 colors associated with the moons.
Okay.
I'll point out the shard of pottery as well and say, I think that's what was used to mark up the shield, and it looks like blood, which is just all kinds of gross. Do we want to do anything about the snakes? Do we want to leave the snakes? What do we think about the snakes?
Can you fight snakes?
I mean, I can see what they do with the light of Alwyn. That's about all I can do.
I'm worried about leaving them. There are children and other people all over around here. I'm worried somebody's going to step into the middle of them without seeing it.
We could light them on fire.
That's what I was thinking. I'd love to burn them.
Cool.
Try drying them out?
I mean, I don't think they're going to leave the shadows, so we should just get something flammable and throw it at them.
Like a torch.
Anybody have any oil?
Don't you?
You guys can always.
Do I have oil?
You can always run to the market and spend shekels on oil.
Sure, I'll go run and get some oil to burn some snakes.
Okay. So, all right, you go run and get oil. The smallest amphora you are able to buy is 4 shekels worth of oil. So that's a lot of oil. You should be able to set quite a bit of things on fire with it.
Okay.
So while Tora runs to back into the main part of the city, are you guys just waiting for her as she comes back with?
I think so.
I mean, can we try and do a little bit of puzzling together of maybe why someone was on their hands and knees? Like, I don't want to get any closer to the snakes.
Well, if they dropped their cord and they were looking for it and they couldn't find it.
That's true.
Can I see what the substance is on the cord? Like, is it Mykonos' honey or is it like...
No, it is
blood?
definitely blood.
Okay.
The snake that shattered, can I tell what kind it was?
From the pieces, it looks very similar to the ones that burst forth from the legs of the Lycosian priest.
Does it have a carving of like the skull on its head?
It does.
Okay.
And in fact, all of these snakes have the same markings.
Okay. I am going to wrap up the stone snake in a cloth
Okay.
and shove it in my bag. Because
Can
I
we
would like
also-
to take that to a temple and get it purified and burned and destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Can we also make sure somebody picks up the bracelet? We might be able to figure out who lost it.
Yeah, I would have picked that up.
Okay.
Okay.
I was looking at it to see what it had on it that was sticky. So
Oh, it's blood. Just in case you were wondering.
that's not good.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Tuara, you return with the oil, the snake oil that you bought from a salesman in the marketplace, and I'm not even apologizing for my puns tonight. And then, are you just dumping the whole thing? Like, how are you guys handling this?
Could I have gotten like some smaller like pottery jars, a couple of like smaller
You have some in your
containers to
kit,
put it
sure,
in?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to kind of make like a little Molotov cocktail type thing, rather than just throwing the entire amphora of oil and lighting this entire place on fire. I'd like it to be a little more controlled.
Well,
So
what
maybe
if
like break it into smaller parts.
what if we
well,
did
so you
a trough on each side, so that we get the snakes inside and we pour the oil in the ditch and let the oil on fire then? So they're trapped in the...
Yeah, because really all
Then
you have
they're
is bowls,
just
and
trapped.
lighting a bowl of oil on fire is really difficult.
That might be a bad idea.
What if we
Don't fumble.
sprinkle oil over the snakes by kind of tossing it at the snakes, and then we light this torch and we kind of chuck that into the snake piles, and
Yes, I like that.
and any fire that gets out, we stamp it out.
I like that.
How dry is it right now? Just...
What
It's the
season
rainy
is it?
season, so it is.
Oh,
okay.
It is
Okay,
quite...
then we're fine.
No.
We can do a cold burn, no problem.
as you guys are, yeah, it's not like Colorado in the summer. So you guys are as you were digging a little trough and sprinkling oil, an old man kind of comes up. Excuse me, priestess, I did not see you at first, but I must ask, what are you doing to the circle of Lycos?
I'm going to gently put my hand on his shoulder and say, my dear man, you may not have seen, but in the shadows there are many, many snakes. And since this is a place where many come together, we are only trying to keep this safe.
Shake him.
And I'm going to gently, turn him away and start walking past Lycos's statue.
But I am the caretaker of this glade.
Oh.
It looks
Excellent.
as if you are planning to burn something, and I cannot condone that.
We are planning to burn the snakes.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any visible wounds?
Yeah, this one right here.
No,
The old man.
Him. Does he have
Oh.
any snake bites or?
Not that you can see.
I appreciate all the care that you have given to this place. However, we have discovered that there are dangerous cultists around who are attempting to revive the daughters of Ceenon.
Did you get bit recently?
Yes.
Have you sought treatment? Because I have heard that snake bites sometimes interfere with someone's mind and they can see things that are not there.
I have not been bitten, and I can see
appreciate
them.
Your care as I am continuing to walk him away from the potential fire behind us. And I appreciate your care. Would you perhaps help walk me back to the Lycosian temple?
As soon as you agree to wait until I speak with the priestess before you set anything on fire here in this area.
Well, I promise I will not set fire. However, I'm afraid it might be too late for my companions. You know, Luwathi.
Let's light it on fire.
Okay, so you guys set it out. All right.
Yeah.
So several things happen at once.
This was a great idea, guys.
Totally.
Okay, so
Oh no.
okay, so several things happen at once. First of all, the snakes disappear in what can only be described as a multi-throated scream of agony, as if each one of the snakes is screaming with a human voice.
Does the old man react to that?
Not at all.
Okay.
This is where you guys all find out that you're just all having a shared hallucination because Mykonos spiked your.
Damn it,
I'm
Mykonos.
not with this Mykonos person, so I don't know what you speak of.
So that happens. 2, it goes up way more than it should. Like, we're talking the flames leap all the way to the top of the statues, and everyone in the glade takes notice of the 4 of you.
Hi.
The last thing is there's a resounding crack from the middle stone.
Oh.
Cool.
That's not a problem, I'm sure.
Is
What?
it still surrounded by fire?
It is still surrounded by fire, although the
Did
fire is
anyone-
starting to bank back down.
Okay.
While everyone noticed the fire, clearly, did anyone else seem to react to the screams?
Nope. The things that, like, you weren't paying real close attention, but the things that definitely seemed to gather everyone's attention was the 2 gouts of flames that shot up into the sky and then the large cracking noise from the center stone.
I'm going to turn around and go, oh no, I was too late to stop you. I am so sorry,
I
sir.
told you not to do this.
Right. What's your name?
Telemachus.
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to say that again.
This just proves that you are hearing things. You hear things that aren't there, and don't see and hear things that are in front of you. My name is Telemachus.
Okay. Yeah. No. JM, your sound definitely like cut off when you said the name, and I was like, oh, good. I'm so glad you said that because I have no idea what you just said. Oh no!
A large crowd is starting to draw. There are people who are pointing at the 4 of you. They did it. I saw them. They lit the daughters of Ceenon on fire.
Slight point of clarification.
So where?
We lit
the snakes
on fire.
It's the snakes.
To go talk to the priestess of the Lycosis temple.
Yeah, he leaves. He also happens to be shouting for guards, just tossing that out.
Is he
should
heading
go.
in that direction, like to the temple?
Oh yeah, he's heading directly to. Well, he's heading to the gate, the south gate of this district, which you know leads into the large agora that leads up to the temple proper.
Okay. Yes.
Where did you say the crack was?
I didn't. But as you start to look, you can see that the middle statue now has a split in the center of the rock that goes up about as tall as Famia. And it is... You can't tell what caused it. There were no fissure lines or anything like that, but you can see the space between the other 2 statues is less, almost as if the base of the rock pushed out and created the crack. Again, it only goes up about as tall as you are, Famia, so just shy of 5.5 feet.
How deep into the rock does it go? Like, is it a wide fissure? Does it go far back into the rock?
As you look, you can see sunlight on the other side. It is a whole, like, clean through, almost triangular. You could, if you kind of squatted down, you're pretty sure you could travel from one side of this rock to the other.
I am hurrying after Telemachus to go back to the temple.
Guards! Guards! Betrayers! They're setting fire to the daughters of Ceenon!
No, let's go talk.
You are with them! I saw it!
Yes, he was there. He saw everything. We're going to go talk to the temple. To the new high priestess.
Alright, so you're going to go talk to,
Callisto? Yes.
Alright. The whole way he is trying to be pretty, not reverential, but, like, respectful and disdained at the same time. Disdainful?
Fair.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so what are the 3 of you guys doing while Athenia has left the district? She left the district, leaving you 3 alone. So,
once the fire dies down, I just want to make sure the snakes are
they're
truly gone.
There are two little scorch marks between the three statues, and there's no evidence. There's no scales or, charred corpses or anything like that. There's just these two little burn marks in the turf.
That's unusual. Okay. Then I would like to examine the cleft in the rock and see if there's any like symbols or markings or anything.
As you really look at it, Mariette, the really weird thing, what little light kind of shines in the cleft, it doesn't look like cleaved stone. I mean, if you had to take a guess, it actually looks remarkably like cloth. It still feels like stone, but it looks as if like they're kind of like the ripples of maybe like a robe, or yeah.
Jam, based on the height of this statue, would it be safe to say that where this split, would possibly be a giant's legs?
You're guessing about knee height, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Plenty of Gurwa cursing is coming from this cleft, in case anyone was wondering.
Something, the 6, something, still the 6.
After every something, the 6. Forgive me, I don't mean it.
At this point, a trio of city guards come up to you. The woman in the lead is in charge, just from the way the other two are following. She says, all right, everyone. And everyone, like, immediately, the parents came in the room, and it's true. Like, all of the little kids immediately are, like, pointing right at the three of you. All right, I need to know what happened here, and what in God's name did you do to the stone?
Well, there was a writhing mass of incredibly deadly snakes around the base of these statues. We had been investigating killings by these same kinds of snakes that happened earlier in the square. So when we saw these, we naturally decided to dispose of them with fire, which strangely led to the statue splitting in half, partially.
Where is Telemachus, and why are the three of you non-Melkoni messing with one of our sacred sites?
Well, Telemachus and the Melkoni priestess who is traveling with us went to talk to the high priestess at the temple and explain what's going on. We just stayed.
Foreigners here to face the music for them. It's fine.
I mean, we stayed to take a look at the statue and try to figure out what happened when we destroyed the snakes.
One of the guards kind of comes up and whispers something in her ear. Some of the witnesses said that they didn't see any snakes. That Telemachus said that he didn't see any snakes either.
Well, they were black and in the shadows. You had to be looking hard for them. You had to know what you were looking for, which we did.
And where are these snakes now?
They incinerated.
Chat is on fire tonight. I'm just saying. Just. All right, we'll come back to you guys in a quick second. All right, so you and a rather huffy Telemachus arrive at the Lycosian temple. Heracles is there. Did you find something already? I found something! I found them setting fire to the glade of Lycos. Wait. What?
Yes.
See,
So,
she
we
admits
found
it! Words from her own mouth!
several things, and I'm going to pull out the stone snake.
Well, the piece, yeah.
Yeah, the pieces of it.
That's a...
And just kind of say, we need to talk to Callisto.
I mean... Oh. Okay. Do not let her inside! She is a blasphemer! Listen. Telemachus, yes, Telemachus. Listen, Athenia here has special Lycosian privileges that Callisto has, chosen to gift her with temporarily. So maybe it wasn't blasphemy, just a rite you were not familiar with? And Telemachus kind of, very well, take us in to see this new high priestess. Don't know what was wrong with the old one. He was fine in my book. Why do I always have to change
He's
high
dead.
priests? What? Did you set him on fire too?
No, he died from snake bites. When we get in front of Callisto, I will explain everything.
Several moments later, which are agonizingly long for you, you find yourself in the presence of Callisto, who is discussing with several of the acolytes on how to, like, all right, when you walk in, she's like, all right, now listen. All of you check everyone's bed before sleep every night. I don't care if you've already checked it. Make sure 3 others have done so as well. We do not... Athenia, what... Telemachus, why are you here? Why are you not guarding the glade? The glade has been defiled! It has been set on fire, and one of the stones of the daughters has cracked, and it's her fault!
Technically, it's not my fault, but we're gonna get to that. So, Telemachus, when I arrived in town with my friends, we discovered the priest dying from snake attacks. Snakes with, and I assume she still has like the dried snake heads.
Yes, they're sitting right there on the table.
Right? Snakes like this. These were found here inside the temple, and this, and I put the stone snake down, was found attached to Lycos's heel.
There was no snake attached to Lycos's heel. I go over that body every day with my eyes. Okay, I heard it as soon as I said it.
And I thought it was glorious. So, however, this snake was attached. You can see it is stone. It is shattered, and it did come alive and bite me. And I show my snake wound. And my companions saw snakes in the shadows of the daughters, and we thought it was best to get rid of them as efficiently as possible before they could perhaps attack other people, other innocent people who are just always making the rounds within the sacred space. You know, someone who comes by and perhaps stands there for a period of time staring at Lycos.
It is my sacred duty to tend the glade of Lycos and make sure it doesn't get set on fire. For 30 years, I have guarded the glade, and guess how many fires were set there? None until today. Yes, 1, including today. Okay, Telemachus, I can understand why a fire in the glade would...
First time for everything.
Hold on. What happened?
So we went to investigate the statues, as we had told you we were going to do, and I found a snake. We found something painted on the inside of Lycos's shield. We found other evidence of who could have painted this, and then we saw the snakes as well. Telemachus, do you perhaps have any symbol that shows your duty to the glade?
Any
A
symbols?
braid, a necklace,
No.
a bracelet.
No! Callisto can attest to my dutiful duty to the glade of Lycos? The sacrifice that I have made for nearly 3 decades?
Mm-hmm.
She sort of rolls her eyes a bit, but no, it is true. He is the official tender of the glade.
Okay. So unfortunately, and through no direct responsibility of yourself for failing to notice the stone snake or the blood painting on the inside of Lycos's shield, it has been defiled long before we got there.
There is no defilement on the inside of the shield?
I bet there is. Why don't we have some of the young acolytes here perhaps run down and look for themselves, and we will see if they are able to see anything.
Callisto says, I will go with you.
Oh, or we can all go. Great. Heracles is coming, right?
Yes, I'm not letting Callisto out of my sight. Are you sure she should go down to leave the temple?
No, not at all. But I do think this needs to be established as what has happened, because I do think she should stay here. But for her to be able to see it, perhaps will help give weight to what we have found.
All right. I will be on her right, you on her left. Nothing approaches her.
Yeah, sure.
Very well, I will go too, but I promise you there is nothing on the inside of the shield.
Okay.
So Phyla says, yeah, is there any chance they're coming back anytime soon? Because as much as I hate to do this, I don't see any snake bodies. You did set fire to a sacred glade. I have to take you before the magistrate.
I'm sure they'll be coming back if you'll just give us a few moments. Our companion went for the high priestess. If you just be patient.
You have until sunset, and then I am taking you to prison and you'll stand before the magistrate tomorrow.
Oh, won't that be fun? Do you mind if I keep looking at this statue while you glare at me?
If you touch the statue or cause any more large cracks, I will be forced to put you down where you stand. I don't want to, I'm just letting you know this is the law, so...
Not entirely sure the high priestess would approve of you killing people that she hired to help her.
Yes, but right now I just have your word that the high priestess has hired
No, you don't. You have my word too, and Famia's.
Yep, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you were speaking personally to Tuara.
She kind of leans in. Well, you should know that Malcone has multiple case endings in their language, and so we can use the you all ending, which is sort of what I did there. I understand. You're just Gare. But what I will say is that, listen, I don't want to be the one to do this, but this is a sacred site, and if she doesn't show up, you're all going to stand before the magistrate for... I do just find it strange that all of the Melkoni who could have vouched for you are suddenly absent. So...
Yes, I find that a little strange too. By
Yes.
the way, do you recognize this bracelet, Mariette? Will you show this good woman the bracelet we found?
Yes. Well, it might not be a bracelet. It might be like
Well,
something
this
else.
braided jewelry. Do you recognize this, good woman?
Alexandros, come here. One of the guards kind of moves up. Is that what I think it is? Looks like it, Phyla. And we've seen several of those. I'm pretty sure that the last one died several weeks back, but there were people caught trespassing in places they shouldn't be.
Like this glade, perhaps?
Not in this glade, but there were several who were found in the Temple of Lycos when they shouldn't have been. There were several who were found in the Glycera's estate, and several others in attempting to bring goods that are banned in the city. The one
What
thing
sort
that
of
I
goods?
saw is that they tended to have something on their body in this sort of three-colored braiding. Interesting.
What manner of goods did they bring?
Oh, some mad honey. Several, shall we say, artifacts of Gare that are not allowed in the city, such as the statues of the Six, as well as other contraband. Listen, and at this point you can see Athenia flanked by Heracles, Callisto, and still a very irate Telemachus kind of all descend on the glade.
Oh, look, they're the people who can vouch for us.
They're the ones who set the fire!
Hey, Jam, before they get there, while this conversation is going on, can Famia just be staring at the statue? Like, is the light coming through the crack the same light? Like, are we seeing the same view between the cracks?
Yeah.
So, and you said Mariette saw some kind of cloth. Is there
No,
like
instead
resemblance?
of like the very sharp and jagged things that you would expect from a stone cleaving like that, it's almost watery and fluid, like fabric gathering.
Okay. Yeah, she's not even paying attention to this conversation. She's just standing with staff ready, staring at the statue. Like, I dare you to move.
Don't blink.
Blasphemers! You guys can hear Telemachus just coming through the gate.
Why couldn't have they left him behind?
Is he always so charming?
Normally, yes. He takes his role as caretaker of this glade very, very seriously. Okay, Phyla, I apologize for any... I apologize for any sort of inconvenience that these jackals have caused you. I did hire them. I did not hire them to set fire to the glade, but I assume that they have a very reasonable explanation, but I will take full responsibility for them. All right?
So, we found... I'm going to point to Mariette. I don't know if she still has the braided thing with blood at the end.
Mm-hmm.
We found that... What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just saying I probably had put it back in my pocket once the guard was finished looking at it. But
Famia found shards of pottery with dried blood in it, and it was on the inside of his shield that I saw the painting.
What's going? I can't hear you.
I am praying to Rhaenyra that the painting is still there and I haven't gone crazy.
So Telemachus gets, like, he just rushes to the statue and looks on the inside of the statue. See, she's lying! There's nothing there!
I would like to go and look.
Yeah, it's totally there.
Okay.
I would also like to go and look.
Yeah, can the rest of us also see it?
You all see it. Yes.
Does Callisto
Callisto.
and Ericles see it?
There.
Callisto sees it. She's like, no,
Okay.
yes, no, Ericles is like, I don't see anything. Phyla kind of comes up. What are we looking at here? See, there's nothing there. This is what I'm telling you. These people came into our glade, and they set fire to it.
But High Priestess, you see this, don't you?
Uh-huh.
I do. What could we, like, why is it only us and not Ericles?
I am wondering if it has to do with our faiths and our connections to our gods.
Or with
Why
our
doesn't
various
Telemachus
rights
initiated
and
in
skills?
is initiated into the Lycosian mysteries.
Or is it the fact that we are all women?
Well, but
The guard couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would I have ever heard of symbols and things that only some people can see? Would I have heard of any reason for that? Any way that could be accomplished?
Give me a difficult lore roll. So a difficult check is at -25 to your skill.
Oh boy, good thing I've got good. Let's see. Oh, and I get, okay. So that's -25 from what I have, so I need a 26 and I got a 21.
So Tuaro, you're a member of the Scriptorium of Amina Nawani, a fully vested member of the Hashir. So you have seen the scrolls and the tablets gathered from all over the Zaharets, brought back to the Red Scriptorium for analysis. For Heaven, I'm so glad that you're here. That have been brought back and reviewed over and pored over, and how your rights have been extracted. And you do know that in the old kingdoms of Keta and Muada, that they would leave secret symbols that would only be noticed by the initiated, or perhaps by those who have been exposed to sort of sympathetic magic and rituals of the same kind. And as you think back, the four of you and Callisto, you're the only ones who touched one of those triple-headed serpent talismans.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the talismans.
Well, I never touched one of those, but I have touched the snakes.
Mm-hmm.
And you were bitten.
Right, but I saw the symbol before I was bitten.
Right. We've all been affected by whatever magic is on this glade.
Uh-huh.
A
Telemachus, my good
convenient
man.
truth.
Telemachus, my good man, I need you to give me a tremendous scolding, please. I need you to tell me exactly what the statue that is now cleft looks like to you.
It clearly looks like one of the 3 daughters of Ceenon that have stood here since before Lycos.
She's an outsider. She needs more details.
The three daughters of Ceenon were turned to stone by Lycos. They have stood here since the city was founded. It still looks like that except for the large cleft in its base. Also, it does look like they're a little bit closer together.
Come closer and look at the edges of the stone, not to me, to that.
He looks to Callisto and she's like, yeah, no, it's okay. I've hired her. Just listen to her. Now, ciders. Setting fire to my blade.
I would apologize, but I'm not a liar.
I wouldn't accept it if you did. He kind of hikes his robes up to about mid-thigh and squats down in front of the...
What do the edges of the stone remind you of? What do they look like? Are they sharp and jagged to you, or do they look different?
I can tell the difference between sharp and jagged and smooth. I'm just not as familiar with infernal crafting, such as one as yourself.
I know we don't like him, but I like him.
It seems smooth. I don't know what that proves, but it does seem smooth.
All right. Well, then that's good. He can see that much at least.
Just be careful that Lycos doesn't strike you dead, you foreign heathen. And he stands back up and straightens his robes.
I'm sure I have the power of the six to protect me at some point.
No, the power of the 8 protect you. The power of the 6 go out and strike your enemies dead before you. Just, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, I know that. It was actually intentional, so you're fine.
So what does this mean? At this point, Phyla and her two guards are kind of scattering people. Right? Nothing to see here. The fire's out. Go home. You do hear kind of the standard, bloody jackals as people are leaving. You have not gained any points with those in the city.
We don't gain points by coming and burning down their sacred grove?
Strangely enough, no. I mean, you didn't burn it down. You just set fire to it.
Jam, as we piece together that we can see it because we've come in contact with these snakes, does Famia get any sense of corruption related to this? Like, is this something like we have been corrupted by it, or just because we've now been privy to it, we can see what's going on?
You haven't, so again, right? You can't tell necessarily if you've gained corruption unless it's reached a high enough level to trigger a mental or a physical expression. You only get to know that if you spend a downtime action trying to remove corruption. But there have been, you've been watching your allies, there's been nothing that would have indicated that some corruption had passed, if that makes sense. Nothing that you have done in the last day would have rendered you unclean in any way, so that's usually a good sign for you that...
Okay. It's like, I could always try burning myself and seeing if I actually burn it, but that might hurt.
Generally, burning yourself does.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it afternoon still, or is it getting closer to twilight?
It's getting closer to twilight. You've got maybe another 15 minutes of daylight before sunset actually hits.
Okay. I will turn to Ericles and say, I think we should go back inside and get back to the temple quickly. And then perhaps discuss what we can do in the morning.
Oh, very well. Telemachus, you stay here. All right. Are you, is there anything else you guys want to do in the glade? Are you all following Athenia back? Are you guys going to head out into the city on your own? What's the plan here?
I would show Callisto the bracelet and tell her what the guards told me about it being something that they've seen on suspicious folks around the city, and see if that's news to her, or if she already knew that.
No, it's news to her. I haven't seen anything like this. There were several break-ins about a month ago.
They said they saw these people in the Temple of Lycos with these.
Yes, we Heracles can probably shed more insight. There were, we assumed they were, right, the orphans or.
So when I asked you about suspicious people, this didn't trigger?
It was over a month ago, and it was two vagrants. They didn't make it past the public areas. They never made it back into the rooms. So,
What did these vagrants
But
look
were
like?
they the diversion for someone else to make it past and into your rooms?
I can go talk with Phyla after we get Callisto back. See what maybe she or the other guards discovered while they were in the dungeon.
Would you have Philo come to you instead of you going to her? Because I don't think that you should leave Callisto's side for a while.
I can maybe send one of you with a message.
I'd be happy to go. I'd be happy to go.
All right. So he gives you directions on where to go in the city to speak with the guards. Listen, I don't know that I would send you by yourself. No offense, you are an outsider. I can send one of the temple acolytes with you.
Yes, that might be best. Someone to vouch for me if angry caretakers accuse me of things.
So you don't want me to come with you then, Tuara?
I mean, you're welcome to come, but I would like a temple acolyte as well, if that is possible. In this circumstance, I'm not sure how helpful it would be to just go with you, Mariette, since they're not likely to like you either.
That's fair.
I mean, you're welcome to come with me, but...
So Athenia's heading back to the temple. Mariette and Tuara, you guys are heading to speak with Phyla. Famia, where are you going?
The Disney World. No, she'll head back to the temple.
All right, so you're going to go with
Athenia.
All right. All right.
I want to keep an eye on her because she was bit by a snake.
She was bit by a snake. So, as you guys, so Tuara, you and Mariette kind of come back. You get Ariston to go with you, and you head off into the city. The doors to the Temple of Lycos are closing. Heracles says, listen, there's a hostel not far from the jail. If you can't get back in here, you can stay there for a night. Just let them know that I sent you. They'll provide you with a room. But I plan on locking the temple down for the evening.
Nice.
But I will stay at the door, and if you return, I will try and let you in.
We'll try not to be too long. Do you want us to bring Phyla back with us, or do you want us to just speak with her?
If she is willing to come back. Otherwise, just see what information you can get.
All right.
All right. So as you kind of come into the temple, you guys hear the doors sliding shut. They come to they close with sort of a crashing boom as Mariette, Ariston, and Tuara head down the steps towards the jail. Famia, you and Athenia and Callisto are heading back towards the chambers. Famia, give me a perception roll here as we wrap up.
Oh boy.
38. I succeed.
38. Okay,
Mhm.
so you succeed.
Yes.
All right, as you can kind of see, like through the windows that kind of are on the cliffside face of the temple, the sun is setting. You hear sort of a gurgling noise from Athenia. Athenia, you hit the ground. You can see her hand where she was bit has turned black again. And Athenia, you suffer another 4 metal damage and 6 wounds.
Wow!
And that is where we will end for tonight.
Or metal damage.
So, the mystery continues. I will be.
Yikes.
We posted it to the patrons. So if you are not a patron of the Iconic Production channel, please feel free to go check it out. If you like what we're doing and you want to support us, we would greatly appreciate it. You get things like you'll get to see these videos live on YouTube before they go out. You'll be invited to our next Exploring Glorantha, which is where Evan and I just talk about how much we love Glorantha. The next one is on the 27th of February. We're talking about the Lightbringer quest. You get behind-the-scenes looks and videos. You get to chat with some of us. We have more rewards coming. But we posted the poll to what kind of adventure would you guys like to see? And the poll was basically split 3 ways. So then I pushed it to my players, and they were like, we either want a lot of lore or like an urban adventure. So that's what this adventure is. This is an urban mystery as you guys are tooling around Kroryla trying to figure out who's behind all of this. We've got at least 2 sessions left, I think possibly 3, over the course of February and March. So please continue to tune in. Chat, I really appreciate you guys being here, but not as much as I appreciate my bevy of Jackals. You guys are amazing. Thank you for playing in this. I'm so excited to be running Jackals. If you are interested at all in Jackals, you can go to the Osprey Games website. There's a couple of blog posts written by me about the game. There are several great reviews of the game out right now. If you have picked up the game and would like to and think of it, if you wouldn't mind leaving a review, I would greatly appreciate that. Or just send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you, hear what you think of the game. Check out all of the great shows on the Iconic Production channel. I love all of them, partially because I'm not just the GM. I'm also, I was going to say a client, but that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we have the 13th Age podcast, the Iconic podcast, which started it all. We have Becca's amazing Horror on the Orient Express game. We have Josh's amazing 5th edition game where it gets worse. It's every Friday night. We are going to be posting, I've got a special treat for our patrons that will then go out to the channel. My son came on. We did a little video where we talked about why he loves Torg. So we're going to be doing more of those, just sitting down, figuring out why a kid loves Torg Eternity. So there's just a ton of great stuff on the Iconic Production channel. As always, thank you to JD and Phantom for moderating all of this for us. So don't forget to do your passive advancements. It's one of the ways characters get better. I will do active advancements at the end of the adventure. So thank you for playing. Ladies, I look forward to running more Jackals for you in the summer, hopefully doing some play testing for book 3. Mwahaha. Thank you to chat. You guys are amazing. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Leave a comment down below and we'll be sure to respond to it. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. We'll be back in 2 weeks with more Jackals. Becca and Josh will be back every week with Call of Cthulhu and D&D. And then myself and Maddie will be back next Tuesday on the Ulysses International channel where we're going to be playing some more Torg and then the Fading Suns game with Maddie, Alice, and Becca next Thursday. So thank you all. We will see you when we see you for more great gaming. Have a good one.